So today, guys, I got some bad news. If you guys haven't noticed, since I've been saying it for quite a long time in a lot of my videos, is that my center support bearing in my drive shaft gave out. I waited for the first box to come in, never came in. I waited for the second box, finally came in, I installed that one. But today, we are gonna be installing a new strut. Yes, because when I hit the damn pothole, I frickin' broke it, guys. I broke it, and I'm gonna show you guys right now. The first thing that you're gonna need is a lift and a pull jack, or jack stands and a lift, panel removal tool, 22mm socket, 21mm socket, 19mm socket, 15mm socket, 24mm socket, 18mm socket, 3/8 ratchet, 2 bags for your nuts. You definitely don't want to harm those. Last but not least, guys, you're definitely going to need a hammer. So make sure you pick one up. You will have to remove your wheel, obviously. You got to get to the damn strut. Now my jack failed, but this is what I'm going to use. Make sure you use what fits your application the best. I'm going to go ahead and lift up the car on this side, lift it up on that side, and we'll be right back. We'll have to take off your guys' battery cover. There's one other thing that you have to do before you lift your vehicle. If you go ahead and take off your damn tire there, you're going to need a 15mm. Doesn't matter if it's deep, short, if it's on there. You can use an impact for this, or you can be dumb like me and use a pry bar, but I'm also being respectful of my nephew that sleeps right up there. There is 3 of these bastards, and I'm going to show you where they're at. There's going to be one here, there's going to be one here, and guess what, there's going to be one here. But leave one on, just loosen it so that way it's easier for you to come back up after you're done doing whatever you got to do on the bottom, and you just come up here and just untwist it. But for now, I'm going to leave this one on, pull these 2 off, set them aside, put them in the baggie so you don't lose them. Any true mechanic will tell you. But let's do it. Alright, so this part, you're going to need to take this off and the rotor, because you're going to need clearance to get to the bottom bolt of your strut. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the bolts that need to be removed, which is the ones holding the caliper right here. That, my friends, is a 15mm that are on there, and torque her off. You're just gonna go ahead and stick your caliper right here on the cane member. It's gonna be fine, don't worry. I'm not stretching any line, just leave it like that. Don't let it hang, can't stress that enough. Don't let your caliper hang. Next thing, I'm gonna go ahead and take off your rotor. This is pretty much easy, I can just do it pretty much with one hand. Now you have access to your strut bolts. We gotta get these guys off. There's one there, and there's one here. We're not going to touch these yet because we have to take the arm for the control arm off first. 17mm wrench goes on the back to hold it, and then go ahead and start unloosening this nut right here, and I'll let you guys know what size that is. That's going to be the 19mm. Go ahead and put that on there. Like I said, you can use an air gun, or you can just do what I'm doing and use a pry bar. Let's go ahead and get that off, and we'll come back and we'll go ahead and explain how to get that off. Now that your sway bar end link is off, you can just let that hang, but definitely check it and make sure that it's fine, like mine. You know, the boot's fine, seems to be holding up. Now, we're gonna go ahead and move on to these bolts here. 24mm is gonna get these guys off. Once again, you can use an impact, or you can just use whatever tool that you have necessary to get these 2 guys off. You're gonna go ahead and back the nut off until the very end so you don't ruin the stud. Very flush, just keep it like that. Make sure it's flush, because now we have to hammer those out. Grab your hammer, smack it, and it should come right out. Alright guys, so this is day 2. I had to wait because there's a problem that I just found out. So this nut right here is completely stripped. So we need a new nut. I took the strut off. Now we gotta compress the spring, and then you gotta take a 22mm and get this nut out right here. You know what? I'm just gonna show you everything that you need to transfer once I get this nut off. In the meantime, I gotta go find a nut and we'll come back home, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys what this is all about right here. Alright guys, so we came by Ford. Lucky enough they had one. I guess they have a lot of these, so if you break them, just call your local Ford and they can hook you up. But this one definitely stripped out. I can't even screw it completely down anymore. It's gone. So we're gonna replace this one. It worked out for me. This is really cool. I'm glad that I found one, and we're about to head off of Ford. Now that we have gotten the new bolt, so now we have to compress the spring. You can go pick these up at your O'Reilly, wherever you want to go. Just make sure you pick up some spring compressors. We're gonna go ahead, compress the spring, and then I'll come back when she is compressed. If you don't know how to do this, well, I hope you do, because you shouldn't be working if you don't. But these pins, you have to make sure they're locked in when the spring goes into this little sleeve right here. Things that you're going to need: you're going to need the bump stop, the boot, top of the strut, a nut off your OEM. You're going to need the bottom bump stop. And you're going to want to put her right there, the same exact OEM spot where it belongs. And you want to make sure that you line up the coil to where it ends right here. This is why it has this stopper right here to hold that side right there. And you're going to go ahead and slap your boot and the bump stop, which goes on the top. Make sure it's pushed all the way up. Go ahead and put the spring on with it still compressed. Do not uncompress it, or you're not going to be able to put the top on. So then after you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and stick this girl on it, and it goes only one way. So the purple little gear that's in there points up for this guy. Once you put this on, go ahead and tighten her all the way down as far as she can go. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and slap this right back into the car. Put one nut on here, and we're going to start tightening up the bottom part first. So we got to put this on the spindle before you completely tighten this end first. So we have to make sure that it's lined up and it's on there correctly. So all you got to do other than that is putting the sway bar link onto the OEM spot where it belongs. We finally got the shock and the coil over together, and if you guys didn't know how to do it, is because, well, I just kind of thought you should already know how to. But I am going to flip it around, and I'm going to show you exactly what you have to do to make sure that you do the job right and you don't hurt yourself. We're on the final little part that you have to do, and this one's pretty damn simple. So you're going to make sure that the splines are in there. You can give it a little love tap too, but you really don't need to, because when you start torquing these guys on, it's going to pull the bolt through anyways. And then you do the same thing with the bottom one. They're both, well, the new one that I got from Ford is actually different than my stock one, but it still went in. It's not moving around. The shock's not jibble-dabbling. And then I went ahead and put the sway bar end link on. You just got to take something like this, or a 17 millimeter, hold the back end, and go ahead and put your impact on that. I did all of it impact, so this is impact, that's impact. So if I ever need to get this off, impact is going to be the answer. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and shoot up, and you're going to want to go ahead and do these puppies next. Bam, you're done. After you guys have finished every little damn thing, make sure that all your bolts are as tight. I went ahead and put my rotor and my caliper back on. This thing is good. I checked for that. I made sure I put my ABS back on. Check your hose if it accidentally fell down. Make sure there's no leaks. Strut is good now that we got a brand spanking new one in there. We also made sure that we buckled up these pretty well. You can always come back up here later and make sure that they're super duper tight. But as of right now, guys, that pretty much does it. I'm going to go ahead and put the tire back on. And when I come back, I'll tell you guys how better it feels after doing this compared to a bent strut that I was feeling like she was hopping. Alright guys, I just want to fill you guys in on the Mustang EcoBoost. And as you guys just seen, I did just replace her right side strut. And so far, it's driving pretty damn well. I don't hear any banging going on the passenger side like I did before. It's not literally taking my steering wheel and shifting it to the right when I do hit something. It's driving very smooth, and I am very happy that I found out that the strut was bent. Not happy that I had to spend money, though, to buy a new strut, but my whole plan eventually, guys, is to stiffen up the whole suspension on this vehicle. So this car is literally going to be a vibrating thing. It's just going to vibrate a lot. But then again, it's all expensive stuff, and it's really good stuff, and by the time that I throw in a V8 into this car, it will be ready for it. Everything will be stiff and it will be able to handle it, because I'm going to be getting all of that stuff from the GT, and it's going to be coming from American Muscle, so a lot of the stuff is coming from American Muscle, but it's going to be 10 times better, and I mean 10 times better than the whole suspension that's on this car right now. Ford did a really good job with the suspension on the Mustang as is. This car can handle corners at high speeds. Don't do it, but it can, and I'm impressed. Here she is. She definitely needs a bath, but as you guys can tell, it's not sitting any lower or any higher than what I had it at. So the strut is pretty much OEM. Eventually we're gonna lower her, so make sure you subscribe, because bags on this car, wide body, new tires, man, this car is gonna look freaking clean. And also, like I say, this front bumper right here is not gonna stay like that, so make sure, like I said, smash the subscribe button. You guys should know exactly what to do at this point. Make sure you guys go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell on the side. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down. Always leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. If you have a Mustang too, I would like to know what kind of bags or what kind of suspension are you guys sitting on. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Also, go ahead and check out the merch. Link down in the description down below. I love you all. Thank you for all you newcomers. Don't worry. Giveaways are going to be coming up here very shortly. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers. Let's get this video up to 50 likes. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Peace out.